Welcome to recording journal entries and uploading receipts using the Bookkeeping My Office function. We'll begin by, I'm going to show you or demonstrate how to record journal entries that are linked to your checking account. So in the last section, we showed how to set up an account, if it's for your checking account or for your MasterCard or your credit card. Or a vendor, depending on how you want to record your or track all your journal entries. So, as I said, with our tax office, when I'm doing the bookkeeping, we go ahead and group everything in three segments actually: an account for checking account, an account for the credit card, and an account for miscellaneous. So, I'm going to go ahead and log some journal entries as if I'm going to be paying them out of my checking account. So, I have two receipts here that I received in the mail. One is from Consumers Energy for utility, and the other one is the AT&T telephone bill. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search, and I've labeled, instead of a social security number, I went ahead and put in the year 2011, and I put CK for check. This will pull up, and it's going to be my checking account for the year and the month, which is November 2011. I go into View. And right down here, this in the transaction information section, that's where I'm going to log all my journal entries. And when I select the drop down, these are all the different, basically this is my chart of accounts that we set up in admin. So my very first one, I have a Consumers Energy bill, and it's actually for my Jackson office. So I'm going to go ahead and select utilities as my expense. Now the date field is going to populate as today's date, but I'm going to actually pay it on Friday, so the 25th, and the amount is $128.41. And over here under the notes section, as you notice, the only columns that open are my date column and my debit column, and I don't have my credit column opening because these are expenses, so we should just have debits normally. And I'm going to go ahead and list the company, Consumers Energy. And because we have three different utility bills from Consumers, so because we have three different offices, so I'm going to actually put the account number 6376, and I will go ahead and save that. And now I'll take that Consumers Energy bill, and I'm going to go ahead and scan it. And now, instead of what I normally used to do, is I would put these receipts. Well, normally I would just open up the mail and I actually would pay them, say, on Friday, but then I'd go back to those receipts or those bills and then pay it, and then I'd store it in an envelope. So now I'm actually logging it, and I'm going to store that receipt now, or the bill, in my upload return documents. Come down here and I hit browse, and I've stored it in Mark's desk in my folder, and I grab it right here. It's the last one that's dated. And I'm going to label it utilities just the same way that I just recorded my transaction. And I'm going to put a date, 11/25. This is how I'm going to locate it. I save it. And I'll show you how this is going to work, how I can quickly locate this bill if I ever need to, as soon as it uploads here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like. Pull up, and there's my Consumer Energy bill. So now I can go ahead and take this bill, and I can go ahead and shred it now. So that's the best thing of all, is now I can get rid of all my receipts, or all my bills, I'm sorry, and have them all logged in here. Now the next one is my AT&T bill. I'm going to come down here again in my journal entries, and that's under telephones. And again, I'm going to actually pay this. I'm logging in today, but I'm actually going to pay it on Friday. So the amount here is $205.26, AT&T. And this one is for, let's see which office. This is for Jackson office. And I forgot above here, I'll go back and edit it, but see these overrides, the site? So using Atom, you can actually produce a profit and loss or balance sheet based on the office. So if I don't put anything in here, it's going to default to this office right here, the site, West Saginaw. So I want to change this to JC for Jackson. and I will save that. And I'm going to go back on my utilities, hit edit, the edit pencil, and I'm going to select JC also for that. That was also Jackson. Save it. Now I'm going to go ahead and scan my AT&T bill. And it's going to go right into Mark's folder. And I go to my uploads, my browse, go back to the last one that was stored. There it is. And I come back again. I'll label it telephone, and the date is 11/25, as I'm going to pay it. That's my description that I put in there. So this is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to show you how I'm able to locate it using this as a description in just a couple minutes. I just want to make sure I cover how we log these journal entries. Now I go back to my client. Now what I do is I have this labeled, my status here is labeled accounts payable. So the different statuses I have is either open months checking, open months MasterCard, complete, or accounts payable. So for accounts payable, what I mean by that is that the month I'm still paying my bills for that month. So right now I have 2 bills in here. Total is $333.67. So I go to my home page, and on Friday, because that's when I pay my bills, so I'll log them all in as they come in the mail, or via email, however I'm receiving my bills, and then I just click on accounts payable. There I see the amount that's owed. I'll go ahead and click on the client checking account, come right in here, and then I'll go ahead and pull up on my other screen. I'll pull up Chase Bank. That's who I do my online bill pay with, and I'll pull up and I'll have the vendors. So right over here I see who I have to pay, Consumers Energy, and there's my account number 6376, and I'll go ahead and log the amount, $128.41. AT&T 205.26. I probably should have put the account number on there because I have multiple AT&T bills, so I'd know which one it's for. I can see it's from my Jackson office right there. And as I pay them, I'm going to come in here and select the money is coming out of my cash account, which I have labeled as my operating account. So on the 25th, when I'm actually paying these, I'll go ahead and put it now at the 25th, and it's going to be a credit, taking the money out of my cash, $33.67, and then I save it. So now I have my journal entries are balanced, and I'm going to put a description. I normally just put November payments every time I pay it. So now the following Monday, when I get more bills, I'm just going to go ahead and log them in. Again, I put the date. Normally I just do it on Friday whenever you make your payments. But you could see that these have been paid because the money came out of my operating account, and this balance is right here. But that's how I keep track of which bills haven't been paid yet. And then at the end of the month, when I'm done, I actually move this from accounts payable to open months checking. And what I mean by open months checking is that I haven't reconciled it with my bank statement yet. So I'm sure on my bank statement there are some more transactions that I need to record that automatically are coming out of my bank account, and I'm actually not receiving the bill. Say, for example, I have my lease that I automatically pay from my checking account every month. That one I'd have to log in here. So I just reconcile with my bank statement. Once I'm done with that, I'd move it from open months checking, and I'd close that month out. I just say complete, and that just means I've logged all my expenses, I've logged all my income in here, and I'm done with that month. Now, for my credit card, say I was paying these by credit card and not by check, how I do that is if I just go in 2011 MC for MasterCard is how I have it recorded, and right there's MasterCard November 2011. I view, and I would do it exactly the same way. Say if I was paying an AT&T bill with my credit card, I'd come down in here, hit telephone, and in this case it'd be whatever date it says it's being debited. Say it says it's going to be on maybe it's November 29th. It's going to come automatically. Hit my credit card and I put the amount in, 205.26. Again, AT&T. and this is for Jackson. And I'm actually going to put the account because I should have done that before. So 527979. So then I would know which one it's coming out of. And then what I normally do for my MasterCard is I'll just leave this open, and then when I actually get my statement and I see all the other charges that are on there that I may not have a receipt for, then I just do at the end of that month, I'm going to go ahead and put it toward liabilities, which would be MasterCard, and I'm going to make a credit for that to balance it out. So I charged $205.26 was my expense, and then I was paid with the MasterCard, so I increased my liability that I have to pay that. Then as I pay my MasterCard off, I would just go ahead and log liabilities MasterCard 205.26, and then say payment toward credit card, or paying off credit card, however you'd want to do it for description. And then again, I'd have my operating account is where the money is coming from, so I would go ahead and do a credit 205.26, paying off credit card. And that's how I would do it. So basically I'd record the expense as a debit, the credit's going toward my MasterCard, and then as I pay the credit card off, I'm going to debit that account, and then I'm going to credit my cash account. So, this is nothing new, just your typical debit and credit journal entries, but that's how I have it set up. So I group my credit cards under MasterCard, and then I group all my checks that I'm going to write, or electronic checks, under an account called checking account. And as you see here, these are all the months, so I have them all organized this way. And I normally don't close this out until, I won't say it's complete until I get my bank statement and my credit card statement, and I reconcile everything. In next section, when we cover reports, as I was telling you how I can locate the receipts or the bills, under transaction types, it's going to clearly identify how I could quickly locate a bill if I needed to, say for AT&T or Consumers Energy or whichever, and through my reports. So we're going to cover that in the next section. So that's all I have regarding recording journal entries and uploading the bills. I'll see you in the next section. Thank you.